Oh boy, kids.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, Club Scouts of all timelines.
Oh,
it's
boy.
Michael and it's
Riley.
Hi.
Hi.
And we are unlocking another classified episode from BCC The Other Side. If you want Bigfoot, you're getting Bigfoot this week. This is a hardcore Bigfoot horror tale about the hairy man of Alaska. This is probably the most brutal Bigfoot story that we've talked about in the history of the show.
Yeah, I'm remembering this one now as you're setting it up. And
There's carnage in this one.
Yes,
everybody.
and gore.
Yeah, this is like the mean Bigfoot story. All right. Also in this episode, we talk about Raëlians and some government programs that were new at the time of recording this episode, but still have relevance today. We're still talking about them just as recently as November.
That's true.
So enjoy this episode about Alaska's hairy man from BCC The Other Side over at patreon.com/Bigfoot Collectors Club.
Brutal.
What if we just made a Halloween record?
Just 35 minutes of that.
Actually, that would make a great Patreon episode. Just us making cryptid sounds for 20 minutes and people can play on loop. Hey, patrons,
Hey,
let us know.
You want it? Yeah, let us know.
That's absolutely something we could make. You know, Riley makes a little score to it. We have some creepy sounds.
I'm into it.
Bigfoot calls. Bigfoot Forest. That's what it would be called. The Bigfoot Forest.
Oh man, I'd love that on vinyl. You know.
Oh, now I feel like we're gonna have to do this.
Private label pressing.
Hey everybody, welcome to Bigfoot Collectors Club, The Other Side, the parallel dimension of Bigfoot Collectors Club, the show that's currently on hiatus, and this is the only place you can get Bigfoot Collectors Club for at least another month. I'm your host, Michael McMillan. Filling in for your alternate host, Bryce Johnson, is ultra-terrestrial producer
Riley Bray.
What's up, Riley?
Feeling good, man. Just got back into town. Yeah.
Ooh, you traveling a lot.
Well, not a lot, but starting to again. And I missed it. I forgot how much I missed these work trips. It was so fun. I was in Chicago. Such a beautiful, inspiring city. I love Chicago.
Was
Ate
it
some
cold?
deep dish pizza. It was very cold. Yeah. Although it's like they're having a late winter there. It hasn't started snowing yet.
It's like everywhere.
Yeah, but it was great, man. Yeah, we ate deep dish at some iconic Chicago restaurant. Walked around and looked at all the buildings in the Loop. Went and saw the Chicago Tribune building, which is like a really cool, beautiful old building. Went to the park. Went to the lake shore. I really packed in all the tourist stuff for the work trip. It was great.
Chicago was the first place I ever heard of the Raëlian cult.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what that is. What's that?
So the Raëlian cult, they were like one of these UFO cults of the 90s that like prayed and worshiped to these aliens they called Raëlians. That's really all I know about it. We should probably do a High Strangeness at some point. But
Yeah.
I was there for college auditions in high school doing like monologues for all the acting schools. And I remember we were walking along the what is it? It's not the Miracle Mile. What is it? You just said it.
The Magnificent Mile, they call it.
Magnificent Mile.
Yeah.
And we were like there's a little like chapel there, a little church. And we were like sitting in like the middle of the main drag, and we were sitting there, and there was this guy like dressed in robes, in like cult robes, holding up like these signs with like these bluish pale looking, like half gray, half Nordic looking aliens on them, and preaching the Raëlian way. I was like, what is this?
I mean, it sounds fun to me. I don't know. I mean, it's as good as any other religion, right? Why not?
Yeah, I
When
was
you say
like,
Raëlians, though, immediately the image in my head is just like it's alien Greys, but they're all have like the face of Ray Romano, and that's like the Raëlians. That's where my mind went there.
I do like that.
Right?
Everybody loves Raëlians. It's
Raëlians, yeah.
RAE, like it's like RAELIEN or something, or maybe RALI. Oh, you know what? Fuck it, guys. We're all friends here. Let me Google it.
Yeah, let's look it up.
Let's
You
look
know,
up Raëlians. This wasn't really
spread further misinformation.
Raëlism. It's a religion. Oh, I have to say, I need you to Google this, Riley,
Okay.
because it somehow combines a swastika and a Star of David in its
Wow.
symbol. This
Wow.
is wild. I do not remember that. Okay, if you click on the Wikipedia, that it's more of a hypnotizing swirl in the middle of the star, but
Oh, whoa.
wow.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So they're
All
just
right, so it's a UFO
doing that.
religion founded in the 70s in France by Claude Vorilon, now known as Raël. Oh, he's one of these guys, of course.
Ah, yes. There it is.
Raëlian Church, they teach that an extraterrestrial species known as the Elohim created humanity using their advanced technology. An
Oh, and
atheistic
that's the Star of
religion.
David thing because Elohim, I think, is related to like Jewish mysticism and Old
Yeah, I
Testament
think
stuff.
they're like part of like the
Yeah.
Nephilim and all that stuff. I could be wrong. Don't come at me.
Yeah, we
He
don't know
believes that,
things, guys, but where our intent is good.
guys, I researched a
Intent is
different
irrelevant.
story for today. Okay.
This just came up.
So they believe that since the Hiroshima bomb of 1945, humanity has entered an age of apocalypse. Well,
I mean,
sign me up.
not
I guess
know.
I
Yeah.
guess I'm a
Yes,
realist.
they're right. Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot here. Clearly, they wrote their own Wikipedia. There's a lot to dive into. The Raëlian symbol, this needs to be sent back to the workshop, guys. Let's kick this back upstairs. This is troublesome. Cloning and survival after death. Yes.
All right. So they got a few. They got some.
Oh,
a
they
few
say
things
that
right.
immortality, we got to reach it through scientific means. So there's no
I mean,
ethereal soul that survives physical death. You got to clone and download.
I'm kind of on board with that too.
Jesus was a clone.
Whoa.
I might get into this. To be continued. Okay.
Are we Raëlians now?
I think we're Raëlists. Hi guys. Anyway, here we go. Let's get on with today's show. Let's kick this off.
Before we move on,
yes.
sorry.
Yeah.
They start the morning with nude dancing and meditation. I'm reading.
Do we just derail our entire plan here and just read the Raëlism Wikipedia page? Is that what this has become? This is like for people who are like, I'm a little worried they're going on hiatus. Like now they're like, did you
this
listen
is what happens.
to?
Yeah.
They're just randomly Googling Wikipedia and reading, just cherry picking stuff and commenting on it.
Yeah. Trying to pick a cult to join to fill the time. Okay, I'm sorry.
No
redirect
worries.
back into the episode.
Okay, guys. I have a few morning announcements. Okay, so as we discussed a couple episodes ago, book club is coming up in December, and the people have spoken. I didn't do a poll, but we will be reading Invisibles, the first 12 issues, which you can either get in trade paperback form as Invisibles Volume 1 and 2, or there is one single volume that is just called Book 1 that has the first 12 issues in it, okay? Don't worry, Riley. I already ordered you a copy, and it's sitting in my house. I will be bringing it over.
Great.
I think this will be fun. Also, this allows Riley and I not to have to read an entire book in the next week or so. So this will be fun. This is by Grant Morrison and various artists. This is into all the shit that we're into here. Lots of enthusiasm for this in the comments. So I will post a couple links maybe of where you can order the book. Also, it should be on the Comixology app as well. And then also don't forget, check your local library because they carry graphic novels and comics. Okay.
Yeah. I like that. Support the local library. I'm into that.
Yeah, and if we're into it, then this is like a finite series. There's like maybe 60 issues, or something. But we could, I'm looking at it, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 volumes. So like we could theoretically read all of this. I watched the pictures in the book.
I watch a picture book.
And I'm excited because I have not read this for like 15 years, maybe. So I'm excited to dive back in now with all this esoteric knowledge that I've acquired over the years.
Don't you love that when you revisit something that you liked before and then now you know so much more about it and you can like find all these details that you didn't see the first time?
Yes, it's very exciting.
Love that.
Great. All right, so we're doing that, and then, oh boy, movie club for December will be coming up. It will feature, I've already confirmed them, a very special returning holiday guest. Hint, hint, for listeners who've been listening to the show a very long time. I hate to do this to everybody, but we are going back to the trash horror genre. I found a horror movie that's based on Christmas called Blood Beat. And all I know is that it involves Christmas and some sort of supernatural samurai. And that's what we are going to be watching for December Movie Club. So send your complaints in now. I think this is going to be awesome. Riley, Google Blood Beat and take a look at the poster for this thing. It is a man and a woman having sex, and he's getting decapitated by some sort of supernatural samurai. It's an illustration.
Oh, wow.
This may not be for everybody, but we're going to do it, and we're going to have an amazing guest to, here we go. Here's the synopsis. A young woman accompanies her boyfriend to his family's rural Wisconsin home for Christmas, where the spirit of a Japanese samurai begins wreaking havoc on them.
Wait, in rural Wisconsin?
Yeah, this isn't going to be at all PC. It's going to probably be disgusting and bloody, and I cannot wait. So,
yeah, this looks pretty fun. I'm into that. My Christmas tradition is I always cut up my Christmas tree with a katana every year. So this is right in my wheelhouse.
Wow, I love it. Okay, well, there's that. So morning announcements, set your calendars, guys, because that's coming up in the next few weeks over the holidays. So get excited. Okay, before we move on to Commenters Club, Riley, get ready because we have some BCC news. Okay.
That is hard to do. I see it now I've seen how the sausage is made now.
See, it's tough. It's tough because it sounds like the other is slowing each other down over. Right. It's kind of bad. You just kind of got to plow through with it. So this has obviously been in the news since November 23rd. We have failed to mention it. You might be seeing some stuff about this on Instagram. This comes from the U.S. Department of Defense. DoD announces the establishment of the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group, AOIMSG. Oh my God, you guys.
Workshop that name.
Boy, ATIP rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it's cool.
We can't even pronounce this. AOIMSG. Like, this is bad. This is just bad branding.
Yeah, terrible.
The AOIMSG. MSG, also bad for you.
Turns out not bad though, right? There's a whole thing about it, and that it was like kind of racist actually. When everyone was saying MSG was bad, and it's like there's this whole crazy story about it. This doctor like made it up.
Should we Google MSG and just read the Wikipedia
Googling with Mike and Riley?
Yeah.
That's a whole other crazy story, though. The story of everyone saying MSG is bad. But maybe I'm wrong. I think it has really high sodium. I don't know. Everything's bad.
It does have a lot of sodium. I think it does. It's delicious. Whatever it is, if you eat it in any food, it's really tasty. I know that. Okay, here we go. So, Deputy Secretary of Defense Kathleen Hicks, in close collaboration with the Director of National Intelligence, directed under Secretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security to establish within the Office of the USD INS the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group as the successor to the U.S. Navy's ATIP, the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. The AOIMSG will synchronize efforts across the department and the broader U.S. government to detect, identify, and attribute objects of interests in special use airspace and to assess and mitigate any associated threats to safety of flight and national security. Okay, that's a real word salad, but basically, they're just bringing back the study of UFOs officially.
Yeah, and it's like, is this this is not like a temporary task force now? This is like a thing, right? Is that?
It's a thing. I mean, until this closes down and they do something new. It goes on to say incursions by any airborne object into our SUA pose safety and flight and operation security concerns and may pose national security challenges. DoD takes reports of incursions by any airborne object, identified or unidentified, beep, 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 very seriously and investigates each one. This decision is the result of planning efforts and a collaboration conducted by OUSD, INS, and other DoD elements at the direction of Deputy Secretary Hicks to address the challenges associated with assessing UAP, that means UFO now, unidentified aerial phenomenon, occurring on or near DoD training ranges and installations highlighted in the DNI preliminary assessment report submitted to Congress in June 2021. Okay. So that presentation in Congress in 2021, this led directly to this. The report also identified the need to make improvements in processes, policies, technologies, and training to improve our ability to understand UAP. In the coming weeks, the department will issue implementing guidance, which will contain further details. Great. There we go. A public UFO program basically is what this is. Very public, announced up front. There you go.
I mean, that's pretty exciting, right? This is I'm here for it. It's almost like cooler than disclosure because they're like, yeah, we don't know, but we're going to try to figure this out. Like that's a good acknowledgement. I continue to be excited about this. I know each step is like small progress, but
it is interesting that we now live in an age where they're like, listen, it's fine. Let's just admit like, who cares? Like,
yeah.
Like, it went from, like, we can't acknowledge any of this to, it's fine. Let's acknowledge it. And you have to wonder, it's like, okay, is this a new smokescreen for something or not? Or why? Right. Like, I think just attitudes on the subject have just changed generationally, frankly.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I just think people's tolerance for, like, weirdness has really gone up in moderns. Like, just shit's getting weird, man.
Well, and I think, sorry.
No, it's just that. And it's like, for society to acknowledge, like, there's probably aliens is like, just seems so. I think most people, kind of, I don't know what the numbers are. I know like a lot of Americans believe in angels, and like, it's not that much of a leap to believe in aliens if you believe in angels. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. That's maybe a weird example because
no, but I think you're touching on the like people live already with selective mythology and basically like, so if you can wrap your brain around like Skyman and his legion of winged humanoids, then why not open the door to people are gonna be mad we're comparing religion to this stuff, but you know what I mean.
Oh, that's the tale as old as time.
No one cares.
We're Raëlians now.
I think also too, just like God knows. Yeah, and we're Raëlians, guys. We're Raëlists. I think also to the fact that like, okay, the Navy's reporting this stuff. We have to admit it. You know what I mean? Like, once the military starts acknowledging it, then we have to acknowledge it, or they have to.
And just like this, you can't control information on the internet. Once things start spreading, it's like it's out. Like, there's just no way around it. Yeah, which is a good thing.
Well, it's cool. I mean, this is public. I think it's the first real one. Like, ATIP wasn't really public until it was leaked. So it's kind of cool.
After the fact,
giving a press announcement saying, here we go. We're going to study UFOs. Great. Okay. That's it. Fantastic. All right. Let's move on to Commenters Club. Derek Cole, artist of our amazing Bigfoot Clubhouse t-shirt, available on the TeePublic shop, wrote in from our last Campfire Stories episode about the Riverside Tunnel Monster, the Riverside Bridge Monster, excuse me. Derek says, charming as ever, boys. Glad I can get my BCC fix through the Patreon. Well, you're welcome, and thank you for supporting. And a classic Campfire Stories episode, no less. I was already engaged when that fire started crackling, but I got really absorbed when the sound effects started playing. I'm not going to lie, though. It's Friday night, and I've had a few puffs while listening. Ooh.
Perfect.
Oh, on Riley's Collector's Corner recommendation, Japanese band spelled like it sounds, me on Google, KIKAGAKUMOYO. Oh shit, yeah. It worked. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Really groovy band. And I'm going to chill to this for the next hour.
Nice.
Yeah, and then he says, P.S., please tell me we're going to have another Christmas episode with Betsy Sidaro. I adore her, and I hope the tradition continues. Well, Derek, if you were listening to morning announcements, maybe you'll get your wish.
Riley.
What
a comment.
Kika, say it again for me. I don't want to mess it up. The band.
Kikagaku Moyo.
Nailed it.
Moyo. Yeah. Such a good band. I filmed them just recently. I said that. That's what brought it up. Man,
that's exciting. Oh my God.
They're so good. They're so good.
Okay, on to the movie club. Bonnie Craig says, in regards to UFO, yeah, that fucking wig. Why did they have to do Scully like that? That thing was so conspicuous. I thought it had to be on purpose. Between that and her kind of exhausted demeanor and raspy voice, I thought it was going to be something where she had cancer, and that would be the big revelation. Oh well, glad she was okay, I guess. I mean, yeah, it could have honestly. There could have been some reveal under that wig. I don't know. Maybe like a robot brain. We don't know, you know?
Right.
It seemed to be hiding something.
So they were hiding. No, I'm not going to talk shit on that movie. It was a great movie.
Yeah. It was funny listening back to that. We're like, the episode before, we were like, absolutely recommend it. And then we just slowly kind of shit on it. But
we did, yeah.
But we liked it. I don't know.
It's still living in my head. It's a good, you know.
Yeah.
We qualified all of our shit talking with like, this is good and we like it. But,
you know. Santander said, Gillian Anderson is great. It was such a pleasant surprise to see her in Brian Fuller's Hannibal, especially since I haven't seen her since X-Files before that. And speaking of Hannibal, I highly recommend that show to everyone. Recurring cameos of a creepy Wendigo, too. That's cool. I've heard great things about that show.
Yeah, I've heard it recommended before too, and I haven't. We should check that out.
Maybe we should. I mean, it is about cannibalism, so that may make sense that the Wendigo would show up. Jason says, when looking up the trailer for this, I found a trailer for a sci-fi movie about alien abduction called Crystal Shadow from 2019, which happens to have William Bell, the smoking man from the X-Files, and Art Bell. Maybe another movie to watch and review sometime. Wait. William Bell was on Art Bell, or Art Bell's in this, but Art Bell's dead. So is this filmed before Art Bell died? Jason, we'll look it up. We'll get into this.
I'm intrigued.
And then finally, Annie wrote in and said, Harry Man, Port Chatham, Alaska. Hopefully I'm not wrong that you haven't covered that one. Love you guys. Have heard every episode and other side. This would be a cool story to hear. I'm almost positive I haven't heard you tell it, so I'll just leave that right there. Well, guess what, Annie? We have not covered Harry Man. And so today, to kick off the first Northern Frights episode of the winter, we're going to do it.
Look at that. This is interactive, real-time podcast community that is existing here.
So I compiled a little Northern Frights campfire story for y'all. We can either put a little music here, put a little campfire, maybe a little both. I don't know. Riley, you can come up with something special. Whatever it is, hit it right now, because we're going to Port Chatham to talk about the Hairy Man. Now, according to legend, Hairy Man is a Bigfoot-like creature that roams the southern regions of Alaska. Eyewitness reports put Hairy Man in the 10 to 11 feet tall category, so
whoa,
he's a big boy. Muscular.
That's big for a Bigfoot.
Yeah. I mean, you're 7 feet tall?
What?
Almost.
I'm not 7 feet
Yes,
tall.
you are. You're like 7 feet tall.
I'm 6 foot, just shy of 6'8". Not quite 6'8".
Okay, we can round up. All right, so you're 6'8". This is like another 4 feet on top of that. That's fucking
bonkers.
tall.
Yeah, that's too much. Too much.
That's like taller than if like I was sitting on your shoulders. Which now I really want to do sometime.
We should be Hairy Man for Halloween. Can you imagine?
He's muscular and easily able to hurl large rocks or boulders at unsuspecting passerbys. We're talking the grizzly bear of Bigfoot species. And, like grizzly bears, Hairy Man is not to be toyed with. It is rumored to be a very aggressive cryptid, possibly responsible for missing person cases in the area. Some Yurok tribal members, like Margaret Carlson, a guest on the Monster Quest episode I watched, it's not the only thing I researched, but I did watch a little bit of it, says that Hairy Man is part of a people sharing the land with humans, and that they should be treated with respect, and not to be looked directly in the face because, quote, they can kill you if they want to, end quote. The Tule River Indians have a traditional name for the hairy man, Mayak Datat, which literally means hairy man, and pictographs found in rock drawings may actually depict his species' coexistence with mankind over 1,000 years ago. Love a good Sasquatch rock drawing. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. That's like compelling evidence to me. And like, I fully believe that could have been the case, that there are multiple branches of like the hominid species walking around 1,000 years ago. Like, why not?
Yeah,
I feel like there's more and more even science that's coming out and saying that.
Yeah, and the Tule River is further south. It's like in California, actually, so it's way further south. But like, there's this tradition of like, hey, these guys show up in rock drawings and they're considered to be hairy men, and they show like all the different animals that we coexist with, people, and then like families of Sasquatch, or what we might interpret to be Sasquatch. Again, right. This is all coming through the lens of European people, I guess.
There's also that. Yes.
There's also that, but they definitely interviewed indigenous peoples in some of the stuff that I read and watched, and they were like, no, there's something to this. And Port Chatham, where the hairy man that we're going to talk about came from, it was very densely populated with indigenous peoples in that area, and it gets wild. So the hairy man seems to have been responsible for creating a ghost town. For the first half of the 20th century, legends told of strange happenings around Port Chatham. Chatham, I guess I should say. I keep saying Chatham, it's Chatham, which was founded by the Royal British Navy in the 18th century. Located on the Kenai Peninsula, but it eventually became the site of an American fishing company and a cannery beginning in the early 20th century. The deaths and disappearances around Port Chatham are numerous. In 1905, the cannery was vacated for about a year due to something lurking in the forest, something that had the habit of uprooting trees and placing them upside down.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Cool.
They were like, they settled in here and they started the cannery, and then suddenly people were like, people are going missing and something's lurking in the forest and it's uprooting trees and tipping them, and so the roots are going up into the sky.
That's such a cool visual image. This sounds like it would be such a good movie.
Ooh,
like the setting, the time period.
I thought about
the trees.
Yeah, I thought about this a few times while watching it. In 1931, the body of logger Andrew Kamluck was discovered in the woods with his head caved in, apparently by a piece of nearby heavy metallic logging equipment. A prospector also vanished in the forest around that time, and his body was never found. Resident Tom Larson was chopping wood one day when he saw Hairy Man watching him from the beach. Larson fetched his rifle, but was unable to bring himself to shoot the creature. Something that we hear a lot in these stories because these entities seem to look very human. There were also the stories of missing cannery workers who had gone hunting in the forest but vanished, and rumors began to spread of mutilated bodies washing downhill after a rainstorm. In the 1940s, more mutilated bodies were found in the rivers and trails and lagoons near the town, ripped and shredded beyond recognition.
Dude, how many bodies are we talking about here?
They were just saying lots of bodies were being found. Like, they abandoned this place. This place, they up and everybody left.
Yeah, bail on that cannery.
Yeah. By 1950, Port Chatham would be a ghost town. Nawalik elder Melania Helen Kell, who grew up in Port Chatham, told the Homer Tribune in 2009 that the village was driven out by an evil spirit known to the Alutiiq as Nantinak, a half-man, half-beast. Apologies if I'm butchering the pronunciation here, guys. Many villagers abandoned their homes and moved further north to escape the creature's territory. And everybody vacated. In 1950, like, the last person to, like, move out was the post office. And they were like, no one's getting mail. We got to get out of here.
They're just sitting there like, guys, we should go, right?
Yeah, there was, like, literally, like, that's the whole story. For, like, 20 years, something in the woods was, like, attacking everybody who lived there. And now it's the spooky-ass, Port Chatham is, like, this spooky-ass fucking ghost town.
So are it's like, it is a ghost town, the building, like, the cannery's
the buildings
still
are
there
still
and
there.
everything?
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh,
so,
man.
Another hairy creature said to roam southern Alaska. It seems to be a more docile version of hairy man called the Uralui. These mostly peaceful creatures are said to live in the forests of Lake Amna, and they're said to be about 10 feet tall, with shaggy reddish-brown hair and luminescent eyes. Their eyes glow. They behave more commonly like a traditional Sasquatch. They're quick, they move around at night, they're pretty good swimmers, and they're known for stealing fish and dogs, and occasionally tearing down the tents of unwanted campers who are hanging out on their territory. In 1956, photos of large prints on the beach of Lake Illimani were photographed in the same area where a fisherman had spotted one of the Uralui in 1956. Alleged photos of the creature or its prints were taken frequently through the 80s and 90s. And in 1999, a black-haired creature was spotted in the cold bay of Belovsky, and the eyewitnesses claimed that the ape-like cryptid stood at a towering height of 14 fucking feet.
All right, come on. That's too many
two
feet.
Rileys.
That's a full, more than 2 Rileys.
He's 7 feet tall, people. So more recently, in late April of 2013, there was a hairy man sighting by at least 10 eyewitnesses in Napakiak village. A creature was spotted walking along the ridgeline of a bluff where multiple children were sledding, and the creature started to dash after being startled by a snowmobile. The children all saw the monster and described it as having dark brown hair. Photographs of the creature's footprints in the snow were taken the next day, the only physical evidence left behind. Groups of these hairy men have been spotted by ice fishermen in the village as well, suggesting that this mythical creature is in fact part of a species and very much alive and well in modern times. Wow. And that, my friends, is just a brief history of the Northern Fright known as the Hairy Man.
That voice gets me every time. Man, I love this story. That's also well told, well researched.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Nice. The cannery story is so like cinematic and compelling. I love that.
It's cool.
So
There's
spooky.
There's a couple, like, you can look on Amazon Prime. There's like new. I was watching and reading up on this, and I was like, Oh man, now I want Bryce and Expedition Bigfoot to go to Port Chatham because
I do, but I don't want them to wash up down some river.
I know I don't want their twisted, mutilated bodies to wash up in a lagoon. That's not what I'm saying, guys.
No one wants that. But immediately I had the same thought. I was like, man, someone needs to go there.
Yeah. Could you imagine, this woman, this tribe elder was like, yeah, I remember when I was a little girl and we pieced the fuck out of here because my parents were like, there's an evil spirit in the woods, and the whole town left.
That's crazy. That an entire town, they built this whole industry there, and they were just bailed on it because they're just that's not mass hallucinations or
something was going on.
A mistaken for a bear or something.
There could have been a tall, hairy serial killer in the woods as well, but I don't know, dude. This was wild. This is wild. If this is true, this is a very crazy story.
Someone needs to make a film, write a film about this story and film it there, but also film a documentary about the making of that film. And then no matter what happens, I mean, everyone might get eaten by hairy man or whatever.
Or the film is a fake documentary about a fake film. You know what I mean? So you could do a movie within a documentary within a movie.
Yeah, super extra meta layer.
Extra metal. And then you find out at the end of the movie that it was directed by the hairy man.
He finally finished film school, and this is his big debut. That's a very just finished film school kind of thing.
Yeah, and he's directing the film in order to actually murder people, and everything that's supposed to be a gag is him actually killing.
He's actually doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there's a film about that, about the fake documentary.
Yes, now it's a documentary within a film within a documentary within a film.
Yes.
I think that math.
Hairyman Productions.
HM Productions.
I can't what is that voice? It's you sound like
it's
a little bit sexual, but it's also you sound a little
Macho Man
constipated.
Randy Savage. It's like a bastardization of Macho Man.
Oh, okay, so it's like a tough guy voice. All right. Yeah.
What if it was my sex voice?
Oh God, just leading it just into your ear.
That's what I like. Yeah. Call me Hairy Man.
That's your whole bit.
I just wrote a story about my sexual fantasy. I just made this whole thing up. It's really a story that I tell my lovers in bed.
Yeah, you're like, all right, we're in an abandoned cannery.
All right.
Picture this.
Yeah. My backstory is I mutilated a lot of people in the 1930s.
Look, man, no kink shame. You got to do what you got to do. We're all just trying to be happy.
Now, tell me about the part where I made all the people move.
You turn those trees upside down.
Oh boy, you can really tell this is near the end of a hiatus for us. A non-hiatus, to be honest.
We're not on hiatus. We're just vibing. I like whatever. We're having fun, man.
Guys, we're having a laugh. We're having a laugh.
Yeah.
Having a laugh.
You know what you signed up for.
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
on.
All right, everybody. Well, that wraps up this amazing episode of BCC, The Other Side. Don't forget Invisibles issues 1 through 12, or volumes 1 and 2, or book 1, however they're compiled, however you can find it, by Grant Morrison, published by Vertigo, an imprint of DC Comics. So if you're on the Comixology app, you're going to want to go to DC, whatever, you'll find it. The Invisibles.
Can't wait for that.
Movie. This is going to be a weird month. I can feel it. It's going to be a weird month on the Patreon. I think it's going to be fun. The movie's called Bloodbeat. You'll have a few weeks before we watch that. And that's that. That's all we got. I want to say, though, how much we appreciate you guys supporting the show. Welcome to the newbies who are missing us and jumping over
Yeah, thanks for coming over, guys.
Yeah, thanks for giving this a shot. This is hopefully, listen, this is the beginning of your month, so don't cancel now because you're still, even if you cancel now, you're still going to get like 3 more episodes. So
you already paid for it. You're going to get them. Yeah.
You're going to get them whether you like it or not.
Yeah. There's a whole back catalog too of us being like a little less unhinged.
So, a little less goofy. Also, it's wild because this is like at 3. We're recording this at 3:00 in the afternoon. We have no excuse.
On a Thursday. It's not.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We love you. Thank you for subscribing. Kisses. And Riley, say it.
Thank you, Patreon.
I hear you, man. Thanks you. See you next week.